Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. It is my esteemed honor to welcome you to this YouTube channel where we discuss everything Descendants and Zombies for the fans of this franchise that have forever and always held a special place in their heart for the franchises they grew up with, that remember the moments that they will forever and always cherish from being a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I know how it goes. You guys are trying to find reviews and predictions on Descendants 5 with Wonderland, and it's not happening because the people don't see it the same way that you do about Descendants and Zombies because they're never a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I am a fan of Descendants and Zombies, ladies and gentlemen, rest assured of that, and I've just wanted to honor your guys' legacies by honoring your favorite stars and your favorite moments from the franchise and provide you with reviews that you can't find on this platform. All across this platform, every single night there are people uploading videos capitalizing on the popularity of Descendants and Zombies. But the question is, are the videos providing you the content that you'll forever and always cherish, that you remember for being a fan of Descendants and Zombies? To be honest with each and every one of you, quite honestly, these videos are really upsetting me and they're letting me down because they are fake trailers, they are made up with AI, they don't really make a whole lot of sense, and it's almost as if they're watching Descendants with you for the purpose of a reaction video for the very first time because they don't even know what Descendants and Zombies is. I want to let you guys know that I will forever and always be here supporting each and every one of you, showing the franchises the justice and the credibility they have deserved for a very long time. And it is my honor to do that, to be in your presence every single day, even if it means for the rest of my life, talking about Descendants and Zombies and showcasing the moments and showcasing the stars for what they truly have meant to each and every one of our hearts. Because we grew up with these stars, we idolize these stars, we sing the songs, we remember the iconic moments of when Mal and Ben met for the very first time, when Red and Chloe became friends for the first time ever. Regardless of how we became a fan of the franchise and discovered the power that existed behind the franchises after they were created in 2015, we remember being a fan of Descendants and Zombies because we're the best of friends because of Descendants and Zombies, because some of the most beautiful friendships of all time have happened because of Descendants and Zombies, and we've been friends ever since. I've seen it with my own two eyes, and that's what I give a profound amount of credit and show the respect to these franchises for having done for so many wonderful people, because 15 years later, after Descendants took the world by storm, the people who became friends because of Descendants and Zombies are still the greatest friends of all time. And you guys became my friends on this incredible journey that you've had me on over the last 10 years. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your life as your voice of Descendants and Zombies unofficially. This is the unofficial Descendants and Zombies podcast, and I unofficially am your voice of Descendants and Zombies, but I have never felt more honored, quite honestly, to be in your guys' presence to talk everything Descendants and Zombies, to talk about Red, to talk about Mal, to talk about Dove Cameron's future, to talk about Sophia Carson and what she's got happening for her, to talk about Ruby Rose Turner, which I will do tomorrow, because it's Ruby Rose Turner's birthday, and quite honestly, I'm very excited about it. Ruby will be 20 years old, I believe, tomorrow, and I'm really excited. I've got some videos lined up to go tomorrow morning, and I am inviting you cordially to Ruby Rose Turner's 20th birthday celebration on this YouTube channel, because it's not going to go down anywhere else. It's only going to happen here on this YouTube channel, and less than 24 hours after that, we will commemorate the 16th birthday, I do believe, of Freya's guy. So we've got back-to-back birthday celebrations going down on this YouTube channel, and I have cordially invited the world, because you're fans of Descendants and Zombies. I mean, let's be real for a moment. The reason why you're watching this video is because you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies, are you not? And I've just wanted to honor you guys because I know what it's like to be each and every one of you. You know, years ago, I was a fan of a show that many of you are too young to remember. It was called Gargoyles, and David Gallagher did the voice of Goliath. He was my favorite gargoyle. I believe there were a total of 5 gargoyles in that pack, and it was about a group of gargoyles that were turned from stone into actual gargoyles by the time the sun set every single night. And the point being, I was a huge fan of that TV series. I couldn't wait for the newest episode to air. And eventually the series just faded off into obscurity, and I was heartbroken over it. But I remember being so excited about it. I remember honoring the franchise. I had a couple of friends, too, that were big fans of the original animated series Gargoyles. I remember playing the video game. So I was a big fan of it. So I know what it's like to be a fan of Descendants and Zombies in your respective 25 years later. And I don't think that people should be criticizing a franchise that you remember for growing up with and all the memories that it created. So all I've ever wanted to do as the host of this show is honor your favorite stars and your favorite moments from the franchise. Regardless of how you became a fan of Descendants and Zombies, from the very first moment Mal and Ben met, or Red and Chloe became friends, or Addison met Zed for the first time ever and fell in love, regardless of how or why you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies, I'm here to let you guys know there's nothing wrong with that, and it's cool that you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies. It's all right by me. And you are more than welcome to subscribe to this YouTube channel and share with me your thoughts on Descendants and Zombies, your predictions that have been made about Descendants and Zombies for the foreseeable future. I encourage that. And I encourage you to be a fan of Descendants and Zombies for the rest of your life. Because I'll tell you a little story. I've always wanted to have a daughter of my own that would love Descendants and Zombies as much as what each and every one of you have. But I never had the opportunity to have one. So the second best honor of my life and greatest honor of my life was to create commentaries on Descendants and Zombies for each and every one of you who I know love the franchise so much. Because I've been the biggest Disney fan in the world, and what you read and what you see in my description is when you see one of my videos, you will have a greater appreciation for Descendants and Zombies. And I think that's the most powerful way to honor fans of Descendants and Zombies, because they come by the thousands. Every single day, most notably today, this YouTube channel put up over 1,000 views. And I am eternally grateful for each and every one of you putting up over 1,000 views each and every single day on this YouTube channel. It means so much to me that you guys are having your hearts touched by every video that I'm uploading to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for that. Because I could be just some guy on YouTube going on Twitch streaming video games, and I don't really want to have to ever do that. Because I know what it's like to talk about different franchises and different niches that don't make a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people. Descendants and Zombies provided me with an opportunity to redistribute my content and to be heard and seen by thousands of people for the first time in about, dare I say, 15 years. I came back from out of nowhere because you guys obviously wanted the voice of Descendants and Zombies. And I'm here to tell you guys, I thought that Dove Cameron's portrayal of the Mal character and Kylie Control's portrayal of the Red character, which began development in 2021 following the Royal Wedding premiere back in 2021, the summer of that year, was absolutely fantastic. I fell in love with it. And because I fell in love with it, I've just always and forever wanted to honor your favorite stars of the Descendants and Zombies franchises the way they were forever and always meant to be honored. And I think that's by talking about your favorite moments. It's about talking about your favorite songs. And what I mean by that is it's not about ranking your favorite songs or your favorite moments. What it's forever and always been about is talking about it in a way that you know the person that hosts the show was a fan of Descendants and Zombies from the very beginning. And this has been never more true because people who have been some of my very first subscribers are still subscribed to this YouTube channel because they believe in the franchises just as much as what I have. I remember the night that Descendants premiered in 2015. It was July 31st, 2015. Bunked had its series premiere that same night. But I remember seeing the red carpet premiere on Disney Channel, and I remember the beautiful gowns that Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson had worn on that night. It was a moment of significance, and at that moment when I was watching it, I knew that we were all going to be a part of history. I didn't know how many fans existed out there at that time of Descendants and Zombies and how many people were going to fall head over heels in love with the franchise. But everybody just instantly fell in love with it because of just how Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson represented these iconic and powerful and fearless characters that would reintroduce us to a whole new generation of Disney content for Disney Channel and would go on to captivate millions of people and take the world by storm. Since then, Descendants 2 came along by 2017. By 2019, they had told the story, closed the barrier, and they completed that story. But I, for one, believe that the story is never over, and there's always an opportunity to write a new story and a new chapter and to forever and always cherish it. And how you forever and always cherish it is by offering your predictions on what the foreseeable future has in store for Descendants and Zombies. And then by 2018 came Zombies, and of course Zed fell in love with Addison, proving that true love can exist in some of the most bizarre ways on times, because a girl fell in love with a zombie. Even if it meant falling in love with a zombie, you could find true love and spend the rest of your lives out together. And I thought it was a beautiful story, to be honest with each and every one of you, because I had never seen Disney attempt a horror sci-fi musical that would ultimately captivate millions of people. I thought it was a very innovative concept. I know that people were referring to it as a mere copycat off Descendants' back, but I thought that people really needed to give it more of a chance. Like I thought that Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires deserved more way beyond a chance than it was ever given. I think there's an appreciation that goes with talking about Descendants and Zombies, and if you can't show that appreciation to the fans of Descendants and Zombies, and then what's the point of ever talking about Descendants and Zombies to begin with? I say this because I remember seeing Kylie Control reviewing some of my favorite shows of all time, Victorious and Sam and Cat, and I saw her on YouTube one night, and I fell in love with her ever since. And I saw all the criticism, all the comments that were being left about Kylie Control. People were telling her to get off YouTube and stay off YouTube for forever. And I thought to myself, we really need to give this girl more of a chance because she deserved it. And ever since people started to become fans of Kylie Control, she's been had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. She's had offers from Nickelodeon, Disney, and when I heard this interview where she said we have to wait for Disney to call, that showed how much respect she had for each and every one of you, because Disney has millions of fans, way more fans than Nickelodeon ever had. Nickelodeon always had its, piggybacking series like SpongeBob SquarePants and Rugrats and Doug and Rocko's Modern Life, but never before had a company come along with so many hits one after another like Disney did. So Disney's always had a certain pride and a passion that goes with their production level. So to say that she wanted to be a part of Disney really showed how much she wanted to entertain each and every one of you and to be a part of your lives. And I supported that from the very first moment that I saw Kylie Control on YouTube, and I still support it. And I still support Ruby Rose Turner, although the show Koopa and Candy Ask the World was very short-lived, and it was a series that ended long before its time. I think never enough nice things can be said about Ruby Rose Turner because she was just so genuinely kind, and you will see that on display tomorrow when I upload all these Ruby Rose Turner videos I got lined up for her birthday, because I think the 20th birthday of Ruby Rose Turner deserves to be a special one, and she needs to know that somebody on YouTube is actually saying really nice things about her, as he is every star of the Descendants and Zombies franchise, because they deserve to be put on display. You see, what I'm here to do is I'm here to ensure the legacies of your favorite Descendants and Zombies stars go down in history for being some of the greatest of all time, because that's always what I wanted to have happen for me. While I may be a long way away from ever going down in history for being the greatest of all time, I know I've got a chance because I've got Descendants and Zombies fans backing me. I've had Descendants and Zombies fans backing me ever since last year, and perhaps longer than I've ever chosen to remember. Because I do remember over 10 years ago uploading Descendants and Zombies videos on my original YouTube channel in my Jonathan Clarke archives and getting thousands of views at that point, although I wasn't uploading Descendants and Zombies videos on a regular basis. Now that I've come to upload Descendants and Zombies videos on a regular basis and dedicate my life to the franchise for the rest of my life, because I know how much it means to each and every one of you, it's become the greatest honor and greatest accolade of my life, having seen over 70,000 views on this YouTube channel. Did I think it would get to that point? I really didn't know from the very first video that was uploaded, but once people started subscribing and reaching out to me, it really did become the greatest honor of my life. My issue lies with the critics and how they are uploading videos about Descendants and Zombies, which they have never had any business uploading to YouTube to begin with, because it's almost as if they don't have the same appreciation that you do as a fan of Descendants and Zombies, and my heart goes out to each and every one of you because of that. And that's all I've ever wanted to do on this YouTube channel. I've wanted you to subscribe, never because of me or YouTube partnership program opportunities or monetization opportunities, because I don't see the value in that. I wanted you to subscribe to this YouTube channel because you too were a fan of Descendants and Zombies. Even if you weren't a fan of Descendants and Zombies, let's say you were a fan of Tangled, which I do have a lot of people subscribe to this YouTube channel because of, or Phineas and Ferb. Regardless of how or why you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies or Disney, all I've ever wanted you to do was subscribe to this YouTube channel because you were. And because I wanted to honor you and I wanted to do right by you by uploading great videos about Descendants and Zombies. You know, my favorite moment from the Zombies franchise was when Zed and Addison met for the first time in the zombie safe zone. Remember how they kept the zombies locked up in the basement because they didn't want them to interact with humans? It was putting it out there that people were just trying to achieve acceptance in a world where they felt as if acceptance didn't exist. And because of this love and this passion that Zed and Addison had for each other, they were able to. It may have taken them 90 minutes to do it in the first movie, but they were able to do it. And remember how they eventually got to the point where they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together regardless of what sacrifices they had to make by the conclusion of Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires, and we saw that epic final kiss. That's exactly what's going to happen for Victor and Nova. We just don't know when that's going to happen. I know a lot of people have criticized it because of their age, saying, you know, they shouldn't kiss because of their age and what have you, but we will get to a point where we will see it. It's just all about building a storyline, and that's exactly what's happening for Zombies 5. That's what's in the process. So for those of you who believe this franchise has seen its conclusion, and a dramatic one with that, perhaps you should take a step back and reevaluate how you feel about that, and that's what I mean by referring to a critic. because that's exactly what they want you to believe. And this is precisely why Kylie Cantrell and Meg Donnelly are feeling as if they're not good enough, and why they're crying all the time. And to be honest with each and every one of you, it's very frustrating when I see a star who I love so much like Kylie Cantrell crying all the time when she doesn't have to be, because Kylie needs to be prioritizing each and every one of you and focusing on what matters, and that is the fans of Descendants of Zombies who have forever and always loved her. And I think that if more of us get behind Kylie Cantrell, we can make that happen for her and make her realize that she's pretty much just wasting her tear over some guy who doesn't really value her, or some critic who just wants to say the worst about Kylie Cantrell. They do it because they can, and they can get away with it. And I know that you guys have been YouTubing Descendants of Zombies videos at least for the last 10 years. You can't find the videos that show the appreciation for these two franchises that you grew up with, because I know what it's like to grow up and be a fan of something. I was a fan of wrestling for years. Now, while wrestling was forever and always fake, I always believed ever since at least I was 12 years old that wrestling was real. And because I believed wrestling was real, and they were actually body slamming each other, and they hated each other's guts, and they were going to have this big steel cage match, that's what made me a fan of it, because I bought into the product. And because you guys love Descendants of Zombies so much, you don't care what critics have to say, you're just going to love it eternally, forever and always. And that's what I admire about each and every one of you. Now, I know that Descendants of Zombies is a far cry from professional wrestling, but the thing is, you guys love Descendants of Zombies because you're just fans of it, and that's all you know. Because what do you know at 7 years old? You just know that, tomorrow's another day, you're getting up, you're going to school, you're going to talk to your friends about Descendants of Zombies, you're going to talk about the storyline, what's going to happen next. So I don't see the point in criticizing these franchises the way that so many people are. If you're going to upload a reaction video with meaning, and explain to the people watching, explain to your audience, put it out there, put your heart into the video, and let everybody know why you are a fan of Descendants of Zombies. While I may not have the Descendants of Zombies merch and spend thousands of dollars on the dolls and the costumes and the posters to back up my claim like a lot of people do, having all this merchandise as part of your backdrop for your video really doesn't tell me a whole lot about you and what inspires you to have become a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Some 7-year-old girl could tell me that she loves the music, or she loves the storyline about Mal and Ben and a critical moment that happened in their lives that got them to the point that they're at, and I would believe them more for being a fan of Descendants of Zombies than I would somebody on YouTube reviewing it with posters in the backdrop of Mal and Ben. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It doesn't belong on YouTube, and I think that if you're going to talk about Descendants of Zombies, you need to do it justice, and you need to do it right by the fans of it, because we have fans of all different age demographics who know more about Descendants of Zombies than they're ever given credit for. And I think that this is a 5-star production because of the fans and their contributions. So because they have put their hearts into Descendants of Zombies, I really do believe the best way of talking about Descendants of Zombies is not only by honoring the franchise's legacies and their lineage that goes with it, but it's also by honoring each and every one of you and saying, okay, my favorite moment from Descendants was when Mal went into the forest and she sang the song If Only, because it was a song that I could identify with, because it helped me make sense of my own life and my own situation, perhaps a relationship that I wanted to have more than anything else in the world, because this guy never pays attention to me and I just want him to notice me for the first time ever, actually, pay attention to what I've got going on. Whatever reason you are a fan of Descendants of Zombies for, I support you guys. I love you so much, man, for being fans of Descendants of Zombies. And all I've ever wanted to do was have an incredible reach because of Descendants of Zombies. Showcase these franchises for their true worth, for their true value, and just to stop the tears for Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky, which I intend on doing for the rest of my life, even if that's what that means. Because we've got Halloween coming up, we've got Descendants 5 Wonderland's premiere next summer, we've got the birthdays of Ruby Rose Turner tomorrow and Freya Sky the day after that, October 16th through 17th, which I cordially invite you to be a part of. We've got a lot to be excited about as fans of Descendants of Zombies, so I think the critics are trying to take that away from us and tear down what credibility we worked so hard and diligently to build up for Descendants of Zombies. I see the potential in Freya Sky. I have to be honest with each and every one of you. I think she's overflowing with talent. She's beyond exuberant. She's so full of life. And when I see this girl falling asleep on a tour bus because she's so tired and mentally drained from a performance, and then I see this guy on YouTube reviewing her, that makes no sense whatsoever. It makes me really frustrated because I think that if you're going to talk about Freya Sky, at least say, hats off to you, man, because in all honesty, you're really putting your heart into everything that you do. You believe in the fans just as much as they believe in you, and that's what I got from the Worlds Collide Tour, was this emotional connection that each and every one of you had for Freya, and the respect really felt mutual to me. It never was about a critic sitting in the crowd reviewing it with a piece of paper and a pencil because they had never seen the Worlds Collide Tour ever before, and they didn't even know what Descendants and Zombies was, and what the significance of the plot was, what the moral of the story always was. The moral of the story is about how time always runs out, and how time is always elapsing in an hourglass. But it's all about, more importantly, what we do with the time that we're allocated, and how much we love each other enough to support each other throughout the difficult times in life. That's what the moral of the story is, because happily ever after does have a chance of existing, and forever does exist. While it may have been said that forever has no chance of existing and happily ever after has no chance of whatsoever of existing, it really does, and it can happen for you, and that's all I've ever wanted to do, and make you all realize through the power of these videos. I wanted to touch your hearts by the thousands. In some way or somehow, with your guys' help, I was able to do that. The character Red began development at the end of the Royal Wedding in 2021, and we didn't know much about Red at that point in time. All we knew is that Alice in Wonderland characters and characters from Cinderella were going to find their way into the franchise. And the significant impact they had on this franchise was a significant impact that I will never ever forget, because the Red character portrayed by Kylie Cantrell when she first donned that character was a character that touched my heart, and I'll have a lot more to say on this tomorrow morning at 8:35, between 8:35 and 9:05 a.m. tomorrow morning. I just think she's really wasting her tears on people she doesn't need to be wasting her tears on. I saw this girl on a TikTok video last year in February of 2024 crying because she missed her friends. And it got me to thinking about how if Kylie Cantrell misses her friends, what she's got to realize is her greatest friends are with her every single time she steps out onto the stage or on the set of Descendants, because her greatest friends are all around her, and that's each and every one of you. Thank you so much for loving Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky the way that you have, because every single time they miss their friends and they feel as if they can't make sense of their own lives, at least I know in my heart, from my heart to yours, they have each and every one of you. And all I've ever wanted to do is talk about Descendants and Zombies the way it was always and forever meant to be talked about. Seriously, guys, thank you so much from my heart to yours. I love you all so much. We will talk more about Descendants and Zombies tomorrow morning between 8:35 and 9:05 a.m. Keep Descendants and Zombies in your heart forever and always, because life really is sweeter when all of us are. Thank you guys so very much.